Hello. Um, so my day off today, I went up and had a look in the area. I haven't looked for a while. It's actually usually an area that it's got some pretty good find over the last couple of years. There's one, two, three, four, five, six or seven shops in a relatively small area. So even if one place doesn't have something, usually you can find something at one of the other places. However, I did find that the biggest and best shop, the Salvation Army shop on Beach Road, if you're wondering, is gone. I drove past it. I was ready to turn. It's next to a discount tire garage, and I went to turn in. I saw it was completely bare. All the signage is gone. The glass, it's just empty. And I was like, shit. And so I looked on map to see if it moved anywhere, but it didn't. It seems to have gone. Maybe they're looking for another place, but I did find a couple of things. 3 CDs. First one here, a Supremes, I guess, greatest hits collection. We've talked about the Supremes before. I feel like I've talked about the Supremes a whole lot on some of these videos of the last 6 months. But this looks promising because it just does. Like I said before, you can usually tell by everything. For one, we can see it's put out by Universal Music with Motown. So I guess Motown is now in partnership with Universal, because most of those smaller record companies have been, or even the bigger ones have been kind of merged into these mega. There's only actually a handful left of major labels now. I'm pretty sure they're all kind of. It's like car companies. You look at cars and whatever, like MG, a British company, or Alfa Romeo, an Italian company, and you see they're all owned by either Volkswagen or Toyota or some Chinese private equity, group that kind of buys up assets. And anyway, this looks like, the real deal. This doesn't look like it's a re-recording as we've discovered with some of these other ones. It looks like it's pretty high quality. You can tell by the design of the discs, some of the artwork they've got in there. And the song choice. And we see here that it says disc 1, there's 2 discs. Disc 1 says 1 to 20 is Diana Ross and the Supremes, greatest hits, and 11 to 20 is the Supremes at their best. But then we got 1 to 9 Diana Ross. So it's a mixture of stuff with, I guess, pre and post Diana Ross. Because I can see Love Child, that's with Diana Ross, but that's on this anyway. You can see he's got all the songs that you would expect to be on there. There's 40 tracks, so all the songs you'd expect and more. You see the original price was $16.95 whoever bought this. This came out in 2005 originally, so about 15 to 18 years ago. But I picked it up for $1. Same shop, second disc I got at the shop is the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers album, Damn the Torpedoes, which I think is his first album. I'm not 100% sure about that. And it's not the first, it's the third studio album. The reason why I thought it was the first, because it has Refugee on it, and I always thought Refugee was his first. Yeah, actually, it doesn't matter. Maybe, okay, what it says here. First of 3, built on commercial. Okay, no, don't worry. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, self-titled, was the first. Okay, Breakdown. Breakdown was his first single in '76, so a few years before Refugee. Anyway, okay, I only own a greatest hits, Tom Petty greatest hits collection in my CDs. So this is the first actual album of Tom Petty I have, which is pretty cool. I like Tom Petty. Who doesn't like Tom Petty? Well, I guess a lot of people don't like him. But this looks to be in pretty good condition. You can see there's the Heartbreakers. Now the drummer, I remember watching one of, I think it was Behind the Music, VH1 series that they used to do. And I can't remember what period. It was just on Tom Petty in general. But anyway, I remember them interviewing the drummer from the Heartbreakers, and he looked like a spitting image of Sylvester Stallone. But looking at the picture there, Stan Lynch, it doesn't look like it's Sylvester Stallone there. So maybe it's a different drummer. I'm not sure. It is the same guy. See, Stan Lynch was in the Heartbreakers until 1994. That's right. He left because that's the story that you hear, that Tom Petty invited Dave Grohl to join the Heartbreakers in 94. That was after, obviously, shortly after Kurt had committed suicide and the Nirvana was gone. And Dave Grohl went and played, filled in the drums when they did Saturday Night Live, the live performance. And then after that, Tom Petty asked, he said, you can join the band if you want. Which matches up, because if Stan Lynch left in 1994, October 94, that all kind of marries together with that story, which obviously Dave Grohl didn't join the Heartbreakers. He went on to write and record the first Foo Fighters album, and the rest is history there, obviously. This looks to be in fairly good condition. This came out in 79, as in it was, the original album. I don't know when the CD itself, because it just looks a lot newer. Obviously, I don't think it came out in 1979, but I mean the... Oh, is that sticky? That's a problem. Why the hell? I don't think there's anything inside it. There's literally... Is there? Oh, no, there is. Sorry, there is. Here we go. Got it. There's the track listing again. Jimmy Iovine produced this, who went on to do the... he was like the president of Interscope, wasn't he? He worked a lot with there's that series, I've never actually watched it, the Dr. Dre one on Netflix. Dr. Dre, and I think Jimmy Iovine. Anyway. This was recorded in Sound City. Again, talking about Dave Grohl, he made that documentary about Sound City, didn't he? About all the great albums that have been made there over the years, and now it's gone. But he took the console, the recording console, I think he's got it in his garage or something. I think they recorded Wasting Light with that. I'm pretty sure. So it all connects together, doesn't it? Rock music. It's all interconnected in some way. Well, you can do that kind of 6 degrees of separation, I think, with a lot of kind of rock music from like the 60s through to the 90s, or at least even to today. You can kind of do 2 degrees of separation, because you can say, well, Tom Petty and Dave Grohl, that's an easy one. But say even Tom Petty, let's say Tom Petty and this next one, Ben Folds 5. Could I find a connection between Tom Petty and these guys? Well, I know they're from North Carolina and Tom Petty's from Florida. I'm sure if I thought about it long enough, I could find something. Anyway, I'm not sure what this actually is. I've talked about Ben Folds 5 before, and I did a video about, I have Whatever and Ever Amen and the Ben Folds first solo album, Rockin' the Suburbs. And this is, I'm not exactly sure what it is, because by the looks of the track listing, it kind of looks like a compilation, not a compilation, but kind of like a collection of odds and ends together. Okay, so it's called Naked Baby Photos, and you can see this was $2. It's a little bit more expensive than typically find in a secondhand shop, a charity shop. These two were $1 each. This was $2, but still $2. I've never ever seen this around before. You see Whatever and Ever Amen around from time to time. And you see Rock in the Suburbs around from time. Again, when I'm saying time to time, like maybe in charity shops, maybe you see it once a year. If you went to a secondhand music shop like Real Groovy Records, you'd probably see them over there a bit more commonly. But anyway, I've never seen this before anyway. I didn't even know this existed. But what it says on the entry online, it says, this is a compilation album comprising outtake material from recordings of the Ben Folds 5 first 2 studio albums and live performances. Most of the tracks are previously unreleased rarities. There we go. Well, that's kind of good. And so what we have here, we have Eddie Walker, I've never heard of that. Jackson Cannery, the original 7-inch version. We have a live version of Alice Childress. We have the demo version of Bad Idea. A live of Underground. A live of The Ultimate Sacrifice. A live of Satan Is My Master. Live of Julianne. Live of Song for the Dumped. Philosophy, Twin Falls, and Boxing, all live versions. Those last two from Club Quattro in Tokyo, which I'm pretty sure I've been to Club Quattro. I'm not sure if it exists anymore. But anyway, this came out in it says 97 here on Caroline Records, but on the online listing it says 98. So 97, 98. Whatever and Ever in Amen came out in 97. And the unauthorized biography of Reinhold Messner came out in 99. So this was kind of like a stopgap in between. So yeah, I talked in the other video, I like Ben Folds a lot. I like his songwriting. I'd say I kind of equally like his solo stuff and stuff Ben Folds 5. But then again, I haven't listened to a whole lot beyond the kind of 2 albums I just mentioned. He's wearing a Appetite for Destruction t-shirt, a nice baby blue shade. And there's Darren Sledge and what's the other guy? Darren Jesse and Robert Sledge. Robert Sledge. I was just thinking of the words to that song. So Ben Folds 5R, Ben Folds, Darren Jesse, Robert Sledge. So obviously they don't have a guitarist, they have the pianist and vocalist, drummer and the bassist. Though I think they have, I'm pretty sure there's some guitar that features in some of their songs. Obviously they have, I'm sure they've had it from time to time. This has got a little bit of a write-up about each entry. So for example, we see the first one, Eddie Walker. This was the first song to click in rehearsal. The chorus arrangement arrived at with background vocals and distorted bass during our first rehearsal, gave us a glimpse of what we would sound like when we grew up. Doesn't say the year in which it was recorded though. And he kind of introduces it here. It says, Robert, Darian, and I have been a band now for 4 years and have stayed on the road 3 of them straight. It's weird to look through all the scrapbooks and see these naive-looking, sometimes tired pictures of shit you barely remember. We kind of got emotional about it, I guess. So yeah, that's something a bit different. And like I said, didn't even know it existed. So that's good to find. So I'm pretty happy with those 3 purchases. 3 CDs for $4. Now the album, sorry, not the album. The video I did most recently before this was the one about getting rid of some CDs. And I've been thinking about that more and more over the last few days. And I'm pretty much, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go through my whole collection and pull out the things. And go have a listen. So what I was doing yesterday, I was listening to a few of those ones I showed in the last video. Actually, hang on one second. I listened to these 3 yesterday. This one, yeah, there's nothing there. It's not bad, but it's not great either. It's kind of just very middle of the road, late 80s radio, AOR, pop, you know. So I think I can get rid of this. This one, I remembered the problem with it, that yes, as I suspected, it was just all kind of re-records. Like the girl from Ipanema, it sounds like it's been re-recorded in like the late 70s, early 80s. It's got this almost like disco beat to it. They've added to it. And these like sound effects like, they sometimes did that with disco stuff as well. Like fucking laser beam shootings or something. The only song on here that is decent is track 5, Far Away. It's the original one with Chet Baker. Everything else sounds like, it's been re-recorded and very dated, sounding. So, getting rid of that. This one, when I said I couldn't remember what this is, I don't even know how you describe it. It's just like a mishmash of weird, well, not even weird, kind of pan flute type music mixed with a little bit of new age sounding, but it's not very good. And some of it is downright bad. A lot of kind of keyboard instrumentation, like keyboard horns and keyboard strings and stuff like that. It sounds quite cheesy in a bad way. So so just from listening to those three, it's made me determined to actually I need to go through, and if some of this stuff is just, to me, rubbish, I don't need to be holding it in my collection, just taking up space, because I am running out of space. So I'm going to go through and pull out the things. And like I said, I'll give everything one last listen. And then like I said, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with them. Maybe try and sell them in bulk, because they're not the kind of things people are going to be wanting individually, I don't think. Or I'll just donate them back to a charity shop. It's not as though I'm like, if I pull out 50 CDs, that's what, between $25 and $50 that I've spent on them over the last 3 years. It's not a huge loss, really. And I might be able to try to sell some, like I said, in a bulk load. I'll see how that goes. But kind of just today, as I was looking through the shop, I was thinking about that, because sometimes there is the odd thing, and you think, oh, should I get that? And then you think, no, that's really not necessary. I don't need that. I'm not going to listen to it. It's probably not my taste anyway. So from this point forward, I'm going to really maybe try and make it more focused purchases of things that I actually really want. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.